Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about the beef with Scammy the Bull and John Aletto. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. Cosenza, what's up, man? How you doing? William, Miles, thank you for the donation, Miles. I appreciate you. Rara, how you doing? Maureen, we got a lot of people in the house. Thank you all for joining me today. Raekwon, what's good? Thomas, how are you? Mustang Mike, Salvatore, Big Boy Blue, what's going on, man? This video is going to be quite hilarious because I just find it funny that Aletto here is trying to explain how much of not a gangster Sammy Gravano was. He was one of the most notorious gangsters out there, and they cooperated. Then he turned out to be the biggest rat out there. That's one thing about these guys that they don't do, Sammy included. They don't talk about their cooperation. How come they don't do that? I'm just curious. I don't know who that is, Maureen. Guy, what's going on? How are you? Congratulations on your sobriety, man. If anyone out there struggling with alcoholism, drugs, just know it's not over. You can get through it. Your life can start today, right now. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. You don't have to be living fake gangster ways like these guys. Just keep it moving, man. Don't worry about all the outside distractions. Because if I listen to all the outside distractions, I wouldn't get anywhere in life. You know, a lot of people out there need to take their meds. If you guys don't know what I do here, I review videos and we have fun. We have some laughs. This is for entertainment purposes only. I don't wish harm on these people. This is all in good fun. And if you don't like this, you guys already know what to do. Write it on a piece of paper, fold it up, and shove it right up your ass. Now, let's get to the first video. This is Aletto talking about how Sammy Gravano was not a gangster.
Talked about, I think, here and there over the past couple years, but really, I think, done a good job of not for a lot of different reasons. But I think in recent times has, spoken about you a fair bit. He apparently owes you some money. I think he calls himself something and you have opinions about that, about what his role really was in the mob and what he really did or didn't do. So I think today is a great day for you to, for lack of a better word, expose and really
Expose. How come Aletto doesn't talk about his cooperation? Just curious. How come him and Genie Boy, Genie the Weenie, doesn't talk about their cooperation, how they turned on people and put people in prison. Now they're on the internet bragging about how tough they are. And now Aletto here made a video, what was it, yesterday, the day before? He's like, I'm not a gangster anymore. No, but in videos, you're saying you're part of the Gambino family, this and that. You weren't a member of the Gambino family. You were not a mobster. Back then, when you were around these people, Aletto, you weren't, I'm Albanian. You know that they wouldn't have accepted you like that. You were trying to hide your Albanian ways. They knew who you were. Paulie, what's going on? How are you? Tommy, thanks for joining me this morning. I appreciate all you guys. Great show, Bill. Keep up the great work. 100%. Big Boy Blue, I'm sober 2,264 days. Congratulations, man. just know it's not over. You can start your life right now. Paul, what's going on? Vegas Pete, how are you? We got a lot of people in the house at such an early time in the morning. And I appreciate everyone that watches this show. We're here to have some fun.
Tell the truth about who Sammy Gravano is.
Yeah, the guy who had no dealings with Sammy Gravano is going to tell us how Sammy Gravano's not a gangster. The guy that was not made.
And a lot of people, follow him and watch him. But yeah, I think you have more insight than anybody else, really.
Well,
yeah, I think the guy that wasn't around him at all has more insight than anybody. Aleto here admits that he tried to talk to Sammy Gravano one time, and John Sr. is like, don't fucking talk to him. And he was like, as Gene slowly opens his jar of Vaseline. Listen, leopards don't change their spots 100%. It's only a matter of time. I would like to see them do a video about their cooperation. Not on how other people cooperated against them, how they decided to be non-gangsters when it was time to take the rap for the shit they were doing. And instead of doing that, they blame others and point the finger everywhere else, but at themselves. That's what's odd to me. And remember, I'm not a gangster. I was in the streets. I was kind of like a street guy. But I was on no level like a mob guy or any of that shit. Not at all.
the thing about Sammy is, he's famous for one reason. I mean, he's pretty famous. He's well known, and he's famous because he ratted on John Gotti.
What are you famous for, Johnny boy? Know why you got a lot of people in the house, Bill? Of course, because you're exposing the rats. Nobody does it like you do it. Great job. Thank you, Tommy. Brooklyn William, how are you?
I mean, that's as simple as that. If it wasn't John Gotti that he spoke about, really, not too many people would know who he is.
Wait, what? Wait, what did he just say? Did you guys hear that? If he doesn't talk about John Gotti, no one would know who he is? Yeah, touche. Touche, Johnny boy. Touche.
Father, and he came home and lived off that reputation of being John Gotti's whatever, downfall of John Gotti. I don't want to even use the word rat. I really don't care for that word.
Wait, why don't you care for that word? Because you are one? Is that why? Because these people try to avoid the truth. That's all I'm saying here. They try to avoid the truth. How come you don't talk about how you ratted, Johnny boy? And then when people ask them, are you a rat? Oh, no. All of them say the same shit. They make up some shit. Oh, they were going against me. Aleto here was obsessed with Victoria, too. He got chased from New York. He ended up going down to Philly, trying to meet people down there. Allegedly, he was going to hit Joey Merlino. From there, he goes down to Tampa. Starts smuggling sperm. Smuggling sperm out of prison. Kind of odd, isn't it? Now let's hear the non-made man talk about how Sammy Gravano is just using John Gotti's reputation for fame.
Way or another, and I'm not saying it because the reason why I'm going to bring this out is because he's done a lot of talking. But from jail, he was with a friend of mine, Kevin Bonner. And Kevin grew up with me. And Kevin did about 20.
Damn it, Mandy. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Mike, what's good, man?
25 years, I believe, total. And you know, guys will call guys rats and this and that and whatever.
Oh, he don't like that. It fucking really irks him, huh? It really bothers people what I do here. But that's okay. You have your right to your opinion. Just like he's exposing Sammy Gravano, it's a free. I get to do what I want. And nobody out there is going to stop me.
In 25 years, he did give information against me.
Nate,
I got
thank
no
you
hard
for
feelings
the
towards him or anybody else.
thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for the great content. Listen, I'm just getting started. You guys have no idea. I got some major things in the works. Wyatt, what's good? How are you? Thank you for the $30 donation. I appreciate that, man.
I moved my life on. He held out. I got to tell you, so I'll tell you about Kevin. He held out. They hit him with a case. He held out. They hit him with another case. Hit him with a third case. Tried to hit him with a lifetime fourth case. Finally, he caved in. And
finally, he turned into not being a gangster, because rats aren't made. They're born. Remember that. Rats are not made. They're born. Those words are from Fat Andy Ruggiano.
The cards, and he goes, "That's it. I'm done." And I get it, and I got no hard feelings for him. I like him, but Kevin was straight up guy, nice guy, good looking guy, gangster, dressed well, and he was with Sammy. So,
hey, Aleto, did you dress like that on the street too, like Elton John? I'm just curious. How is A-Light, Staxx? Man, A-Light's got mental issues. Paul, how are you? Don't think too much of yourself? Oh, I think plenty of myself. I love who I am.
Sammy knew a lot about me from being with Kevin all these years in Minnesota, actually, they were at. So when he pretends he doesn't know me, there's the first lie. Or he doesn't know much about me. He knows a lot about me because my friend told him at the time.
Hey, John, what's up?
That you don't know him. And if you ever spoke to him that way or tried anything with him that way, John would have killed you. That I would have killed him, he told him. Now, when Sammy talks from prison, he knew I was friendly with his daughter, his family. And he
No, he knew you were obsessed with his daughter. John Gotti's daughter, Victoria. That's why you got chased. Right after the wedding, right? Isn't that right, Johnny boy? Right after John Jr.'s wedding, you got chased.
order to ask me, can I get him a lawyer? Which I brought him to, again, because we're talking about him all week because of the senator's case and the corruption, Doug Anton. Now, I brought him Doug Anton to be an attorney for him and also an attorney for his daughter, for Karen. And he worked their entertainment case and helped Sammy on some legal matters he had while he was in jail. So he reached out to me initially from jail. I never reached out to him. When he was on the street,
he never reached out to Sammy Gravano. Yes, he did. He paid Sammy Gravano to vouch for his toughness on the street. He was his credibility. And that all fell apart when Sammy Gravano didn't want to go along with the bullshit that he wanted him to do. He wanted him to say all kinds of shit about him, say how tough he was and all this shit. Because he's saying all this shit about Sammy now. But what happened here?
I mean, people hound us in the comments with Sammy this, Sammy, get Sammy. And I think people really want to hear your take on, what he's doing today. I know he has a brand new podcast that he's starting. He puts a lot of great videos up. And
wait, didn't Aleto just say that he's the one that started Sammy Gravano in the podcast industry? How come he's not saying that in this interview? It's weird.
Kind of talk about that.
For the people that ask, I've told them over and over again, eventually I'll be on and do something with Sammy. Sammy will be on with us. We are friends, and He's got his own show coming out, his own podcast coming out, and it's going to be the life of Sammy Gravano on the boss of the Gambino family.
Back in the day,
That's kind of odd that Aleto's talking like that, right?
Don wanted to kill him. Now, he knows that. We had these conversations. I put some pictures out with me and him at Newark Airport at the time with a third guy that doesn't want to be involved with the life anymore, was also a made guy, was also at one time part of Sammy's crew. And another guy, little Joey.
Yeah, Quiet Dom died. Now he has a story about him. Of course. Of course. It's crazy. Once these people pass away and they're not able to defend themselves, of course he was with them, right? It's all smoke and mirrors, man. Thank you, damn it, Mandy. I appreciate you. If you guys want to donate, you can hit up the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. Got a lot of projects in the works and we need funding. I got funding for one of them. We need funding for a bunch of other projects that I got going on. So if you want to help out, just hit the Cash App, hit Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chats. And shout out to Mike, man. Appreciate you.
Whose father, Spanky, will also stayed with Sammy. And Joey was also friendly with me and was also a made guy with the Gambino family. So when he pretends that he doesn't know, this is the beginning of, he's building the foundation of being alive.
did you ever know an Albanian gangster, or did you ever have problems with Albanians?
I did know Albanian guys who were real tough.
I fought Jesus and he lost. Yeah, he shot everyone in this club, right? Shot everyone, the bouncers, all these people, sat down, ordered a drink. He heard sirens coming and he sat down and had a drink. Pointed the gun at the bartender. Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. Just pour the drink.
You could call them gangsters. I never had a problem with them. They were always pretty good. Some of them knew my family, my kids, my daughter, and people growing up. They were younger than me. They seemed like good guys. And a couple of other Albanians I met who were full of shit.
Oh, that hurts, don't it, Aleto? That one hurt.
Make-believe gangsters. Now, I don't want to put names out, and I don't want to do that. Some of you might know who I'm talking about. It's full.
Do you guys know who he's talking about? Just curious. He said that this guy's full of shit. Look, he's on the cover of Life magazine. That's his response, right? When people counteract the things he's saying. Well, I was on the cover of Time magazine. I was on the cover of Forbes. I was on this show and that show. I could do all that too. What does that make you? That doesn't make you part of the Gambino family. You were never a member of the Gambino family, ever. You were an associate at best.
Everything the guy says is bullshit.
Come on. But that's his friend, isn't it?
And he's a good liar. He's good at lying. And when he's
Touche, Johnny boy, touche.
goes ahead and he tells his story, he doesn't start from the beginning. At the beginning of Sammy's career, he wasn't around gangsters. He had no money. He was broke. He was in his 20s. He had really very small affiliation when he was younger. He was running around with some guys and gang members and whatever they would do.
Listen, you know what should be illegal? Them coming on YouTube and spewing the shit after they cooperated against people. And they're sitting in prison and they get to go on YouTube and brag about all their past exploits. That should not be allowed. You know what else shouldn't be allowed? These mob rats who cooperate and then they get out and all of a sudden they're best friends with the people who prosecuted them or the agents that were assigned to bring them down. It makes no sense. I'm sensing that there's a whole bunch of corruption going on.
Yeah, okay. He did kid shit. It's not impressing anybody. We're all on the street.
He did kid shit. He said Sammy Gravano did kid shit. Do you believe this guy? I thought it was illegal to profit off crimes and books, etc. In New York City, it is. That's probably why he moved.
And actually, my friends as kids, I always said I wasn't wild, but my friends were. At 12, 13, 14 years old, these guys were killing already.
Wait, what? Wait, what? I thought you were a killing machine at 2 and 3 years old. You were born to be a killing machine. What? Yeah, I should do a documentary called Make Believe Gangster. That's what I should do.
Murders. Not just robbing, but committing murders. All of them.
All of them. All of them were committing murders. And you know what you do, Johnny? You take their stories and use them as your own. That's what you do. And then in some of these interviews, he says, our family, our. What's this our shit? You better take that W, the we shit, turn it upside down and say me. Because you don't take responsibility for the shit you've done. And you're not accurate on your little stories here. Hey, I got to give you this. They are entertaining. But I just don't buy it.
I was exposed to dangerous guys at a very young age, before anybody. I was exposed to the mob at 3 years
Before anybody. He said before anybody.
old to Blackie, Al Greco, and serious killers and gangsters like Charlie Luciano from my father. So I've been around.
Wait. Did he just say he was exposed to Charlie Luciano at 3 years old? Charlie Luciano died 2 years before Aletto here was born. And he was extradited to Italy. So the fuck is he talking about?
Him, he wasn't. Gangsters,
Unlike him, he wasn't. But you know what? You know what Sammy Gravano was? Made member of the Colombo crime family. And then he got transferred to the Gambino crime family. Do you know what you were not, Leto? A member of any family. You were not. So, I mean, I don't know what's so hard to believe. You were not a member of any crime family. Say it with me, Johnny. I was not a member of any crime family.
money, was broke. He was in his 20s. He had really very small affiliation when he was younger. He was running around with some guys and gang members and whatever they were doing. Yeah.
Listen, Sammy Gravano was more of a gangster in 1 year than you were in your whole fucking life. And I believe that. You're living off this imaginary fucking stories you tell. It's insane.
Did kid shit. It's not impressing anybody. We're all on the street. And actually, my friends as kids, I always said I wasn't wild, but my friends were. At 12, 13, 14 years old, these guys were killing already, committing murders. Not just robbing, but committing murders, all of them. So I was exposed to dangerous guys at a very young age, before anybody. I was exposed to the mob at 3 years old, to Blackie, Al Greco, and serious killers and gangsters like Charlie Luciano from my father. So I've been around them since a baby. Unlike him, he wasn't. Now, as time goes on, he gets involved with the Colombo
He
family.
wasn't.
So when people say to him, you know, did he just come up from anywhere? He came up from the Colombo family, and the Colombo family chased him. They were contemplating killing him.
Just like the Gotti family chased you. Is that what you're talking about, Johnny boy?
And I think I spoke of this already. His friend Louis Menino brought him.
Louis Menino? He didn't even know how to say the name. Louis Menino? It's Louis Melito, not Louis Menino.
Around the Gambino family saved his life. So when Sammy's discussing things about how the structure of the mafia works, I know better than him. He wasn't around till later on in life. I was around since I'm a kid.
My question is very flat out.
12, 13 years old committing murders and no one ever said a word or an arrest? Yeah, okay, we buy this shit. 100%. This guy watched way too many fucking movies. 100%. Listen, he would go to John Jr.'s, have birthday cake and shit like that. This guy was not a part of the fucking family. He maybe collected a few dollars here and there. That doesn't make you a part of the Gambino family. Like, how hard is that to believe? And then, oh, there's a video of me coming out of John Sr.'s house. Yeah, because he just slept over with John Jr. So, like, all these mistruths, they're so false. It's insane. Mr. Yes, I did. Baseball bat Johnny.
Sammy Gravano a fraud?
100%. He's a fraud. And guys, Joey DeChico, that's Frankie DeChico's brother. They call him Butter.
Hey, Baywatcher, what's up, man? Eric, how you doing? He murdered everybody. No one else was like him. No one. He was on a murdering spree. Petch Tattoos, what's up, man? Petch Tattoo interview is dropping soon. Stay tuned for that. It's a really good one. And guess what? He was really in a meeting with John Gotti Sr. Like, he had conversations with people. He doesn't embellish it. He tells it like it was.
Trials. He called them every name in the book in a video, and he called them out. He said the guy's a fraud. And he really is a fraud. I mean, he's somewhat of a gangster, don't get me wrong.
Wait. Is he somewhat of a gangster or is he a fraud? I'm confused. I'm confused, Johnny.
I mean, people hound us in the comments with Sammy this, Sammy, get Sammy. And I think people really want to hear your take on, what he's doing today. I know he has a brand new podcast that he started.
Look at Dick Lips Gene. Yup. Yeah. Yup.
He puts a lot of great videos up, and I'll let you kind of talk about that.
For the people that ask, I've told them over and over again, eventually I'll be on and do something with Sammy. Sammy will be on with us.
What happened?
We are friends, and he's got his own show coming out, his own podcast coming out, and it's going to be the life of Sammy Gravano on the boss of the Gambino family.
I thought you were the underboss of the Gambino crime family, Johnny boy.
Did you ever know an Albanian gangster, or did you ever have problems with Albanians?
I did know Albanian guys who were real tough. You could call them gangsters. I never.
Yeah, he's selling Brazilian prison pouch techniques. This guy really got arrested for smuggling sperm out of a prison. Like, crazy.
I had a problem with them. They were always pretty good. Some of them knew my family, my kids, my daughter, and people growing up that were younger than me. They seemed like good guys. And a couple of other Albanians I met who were full of shit.
What?
Make-believe gangsters. Now, I don't want to put names out, and I don't want to do that. Some of you might know who I'm talking about.
Make-believe gangsters.
Full of shit.
Straight from the king rat's mouth. Listen, they all follow Scammy Gravano, right? They all follow Scammy. until something happens, and then they turn on him. So what happened with Leto, if you guys aren't aware, John here, gave Scammy Gravano $3,000 to vouch for him and say that he was a serious gangster, Albanian Rambo, Albanian mafioso. He wishes he was in his crew. Well, I thought he was in your crew, because in other interviews, he's saying that he was a part of it. And then you go check another interview and he's saying he tried to talk to Sammy one time and John Sr. told him, don't talk to him. So I'm just confused.
Guy says is bullshit. And it's weird because an Albanian guy talked to me not too long ago. And he mentioned the guy's name. And I said, I'd really rather not talk about people behind their back. I'm the type of guy, I like to talk to you face to face. And he said, I just wanted to tell you, Sammy, we're so disappointed in this guy. We're ashamed of him. So that was it. So I'll make you guys try to guess who is who and who's what.
Okay, out.
And he's going to run through some of the topics that everybody keeps asking me about. And eventually, I guess, when his show comes out, afterwards, we'll be speaking about some of these shows. But one of the main topics everybody's hounding us about is I did Crime Watch about the Paul Castellano hit. And we went back to the scene of Spark Steakhouse.
Oh, the one that you had no involvement in? Is that the one you're talking about? Hey, Johnny, I went there too. I went to Sparks Steakhouse. I got videos all in the front of Sparks, walking around. So does that make me a part of it too? Was I part of the hit? Hey, Johnny, I got a page that night too. You know that?
He's doing the anniversary of the hit of Castellano, which I believe is about 35 years now. And he's going to get into the details of, for the first time ever, who the exact shooters are, what the plan was, and he's going to detail from start to finish that hit.
I thought you're the one that planned the Castellano hit, Johnny boy.
As a Christmas special, and he's going to go into his life history and his other shows. Me and Sammy met, we talked, and so you're going to have to wait, the people that are asking. And we're friends. So that, for the people that are asking, where do we stand?
Okay, so let's, but because I think it's important, right? We don't want to do this. We're not here to just say one thing without backing it up.
Talking
No,
on the
come
telephone,
on.
he's changed.
You guys do that all the time. You say shit and not back it up all the time, Felix. Stop it. Just stop, bro.
I'm going to tell you about all you guys that you never learn your lessons.
Well, I'm going to tell you that you never learned your lesson.
I've seen it in jails and I see it on the street. You just never know which guys you could talk a certain way to. You're too stupid to understand. That's why I've seen so many made guys get their heads kicked in jail, because they take for granted someone gives a fuck what their title is. And when you're dealing with street guys, and when you're dealing with guys that I grew up in the street, no one cares about it. You will show respect if you're a gentleman, but if you're not a gentleman, you're going to get beat up.
Very worried about that. I look very concerned about that, don't I? Listen, I go everywhere in the country by myself. I get threats all the time. I ain't worried about a motherfucking thing.
His age and his size and his sickness and illness, and just be quiet. You don't got guys anymore to do your work. And I told him that, Sammy. You need guys to do your work. I am the guy that did the work for you. On Sam.
But he wasn't around, right? He wasn't even there. And he's talking about he was the guy that did the work for him. But he wasn't a part of the crew.
Doing a show with him. I guess everybody's going to have to wait.
Got nothing but respect for the guy. He was the underboss of one of the most powerful organizations in the world. And, he's doing the right thing now.
We have done several shows, and people know that have seen me do shows on Reels or different shows. I obviously speak well of Sammy. I speak the history of what happened. I said, so you're never going to talk to me that way.
Oh, wait, listen to this. I heard a video, right, where he's saying, I never said I was a mobster. I never said I was in the family.
I speak about John Gotti. That have seen me do shows on Reels or different shows. I obviously speak well of Sammy. I speak the history of what happened with our family.
Did you guys just hear that? I speak about the history of what happened with our family. You weren't in the Gambino family, John. So what's this our family shit? I'm just confused. Why is Gene so easy to hate? I don't know. That's all I hear when he talks.
I speak about John Gotti Sr. and some of the interactions I had with him, how I feel about him, the nightlife people were asking about. We just did a show about that on the nightlife of John Gotti and how he was to go party with. So, yeah, and I went into detail that he was a fun guy to go out with, and that'll be on some of the shows that'll be coming out also. I says, instead of doing things with me jointly, right, because that's what we talked about initially, he wouldn't do it because his ego wouldn't let him, because he was scared I'd take the forefront on him.
Now he says that Sammy Gravano was scared that Johnny Boy here would take the forefront if they did a show together. Now, is that the reason why I didn't have you on? Or was it because Jimmy Calandra slept over his house and you got very upset about that? I believe that's the truth, Johnny. Tell the truth.
Because especially when they start talking about violence, he can't stay with me and have these conversations because he's not doing them. He might ask the guy to do it, order the guy to do it, pass the message for a guy to do it, but he's not personally doing it. And there's the difference between me and him.
So then when did the money factor come in with this $3,000?
Well, he's broke. So he's
Wait, what?
he's constantly asking me for money because he's got no money for somebody. So finally I said, all right, I'll send you $3,000. Back to the Paul Castellano hit. It was probably one of the most violent eras of mob history, the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, A-Light lied about Gene Gotti getting slapped. 100% he did. Dude, he lies about tons of shit. He doesn't know where to keep his story straight. There's so many inconsistencies with his stories. It's insane. And then you got Gene, Queen Jane Barillo. You guys know what the rules are, right? In the mafia. Well, Gene here put his hands on a made guy, Ali Shades. And so what's the consequences for putting your hands on a made guy? He pistol whipped Ali Shades. Now, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they let that go? Do you think that's okay that Gene put his hands on a made guy, Ali Shades, and he's on the internet bragging about this shit? And you think there'll never be repercussions for that? Now, I'm not in the mob. I have no dealings with any people people that are active criminals. I don't deal with people like that. I'm about changing lives. I'm about changing my future and putting a genuine effort on being a good person. Every day I do something to make my life better and try to help the people around me. So these guys, I don't see where these people are changed. I don't. I see a bunch of flip-flopping idiots that can't keep their stories straight and trying to explain how tough they are. Now, I don't need to explain my capabilities or how tough I am. I know what I did in the past. I don't need to brag about any of it. But I'm not ashamed of who I am either. Isn't Ronnie G getting out soon? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He thought, Genie Boy here thought that these guys were going to be in prison for the rest of their lives. That's where you're wrong. Just a matter of time, Staxx. You don't think he's worried deep inside? They think, oh, Sammy Gravano ratted and he's living his life in Arizona. So these guys think they could go on, brag about the shit they did, and never have repercussions. Man, if I was them, I'd be a little worried. But I'm not involved with that life, so I ain't worried about shit.
And so the guys that don't understand, because you're coming from this era, how many murders we were dropping bodies and shooting people, not monthly or yearly, but daily.
Daily, every day. And didn't he say on another show that he never got caught with a crime? He never got caught. So he baseball batted hundreds of people, killed dozens and dozens of people, and he never got caught until he came on the internet and started bragging all about it. It's just crazy, man. Ali Shades was my neighbor. If Gene put hands on him, he'd be gone. I mean, gone. Strength and honor. Well, he did put hands on him. He pistol whipped Ali Shades. You didn't know that? Oh, yeah. Gene pistol whipped Ali Shades. 100%. And he thinks he can go around and brag about the shit he's done.
It was a different era that some of the younger guys can't comprehend the violence that ensued between all our families, amongst each other, with each other, and against other crews and people that were trying to come and infiltrate into the mafia. And Paul Castellano's hit happened to be one of many that dictated the history of what was going to go on with the five families. He admits I gave him the 3,000. And he does a thing with Andy that did my Perfect Gangster show, and we're talking about doing another production.
Perfect Gangster that cooperates, right? Tell on people to get out of the trouble you're in. And then on top of it, the prosecutor doesn't find him credible at all. No credibility. So, and Junior walks, facing the death penalty. They tried to use Aleto here as a witness, and it didn't work. They didn't believe a fucking word he said.
And Andy asked him, "Can I tape you and ask you questions about John? Because I want to put it on my show." And he says, "Yeah." And he rambles all about John. If he's an Albanian mafioso, he's a thug and a gangster. And I guess we put it on our Patreon.
See, now he's bragging about Sammy Gravano, saying how tough he is. Full green light, Staxx, you're a true inspiration. Thank you, man. Listen, this is all for entertainment purposes only. I know that John here lost his daughter, and that's terrible. You shouldn't never have to go through stuff like that. Really, this is all for entertainment purposes. I don't have any malicious intent towards these people at all, you know? I just think it's wrong what they do.
He said for 45 minutes or an hour, the guy's a straight up killer, he's a gangster. I don't need him to say if I am or aren't. Ex-FBI and law enforcement all know me. They all got on shows with me.
Now, ex-FBI and law enforcement all know him. They got on shows with him. Isn't that a weird statement? Don't you believe that that's fucking a little odd? And listen, I don't care about their feelings, man. When it comes to this shit, like, everyone has a right to their opinion. You could think whatever you want about me. I've been called worse by better, you know? It's mind over matter, people. I don't mind because they don't matter. And that's just what it is. But yeah, I hope you guys like this content. I got a lot of things to do. I got to get to work. When Johnny A-Light was in Allenwood in the 90s, he handled business. Okay, thing is, he ran with the Gambinos back then as well as other mobsters. Listen, man, their stories don't add up. They just don't add up. A-Light has a corrupt FBI handler, 100%. Listen, if these guys are writing books with their FBI handler, that's a major fucking red flag. They're trying to profit off the crimes they committed. How are they able to do that? How are they able to write books, go on speaking engagements with the people that were chasing them or put them in prison or that they cooperated with? It's just very odd. Don't you guys agree with that? They only care about themselves, 100%. But listen, it's all good. I'm going to continue to do what I do, regardless of what anyone says. If you don't like it, call the feelings police. I appreciate all you guys taking the time to watch this show. If you want to help out the show, I got a lot of projects in the works. We need funding on a bunch of them. I got funding on one, and we need some funding on a bunch more that I got going on. You guys will see what I got going on. I appreciate all you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you like this, hit the like button. If you don't like this podcast, too bad. Start your own. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch.